Have you ever found yourself comparing two different actors who play the same role? Think the Ledgers versus Phoenix's Joker, perhaps. Well, Netflix's recent hit, Wednesday, has all of us drawing parallels between Jenna Ortega and Christina Ricci, two different actors who played our childhood fave, Wednesday Addams. Stick around as we unravel 10 differences between the two's performances. First up, Wednesday Addams as a loner? Fans pointed this out at first glance. Wednesday's trailer revealed a few changes in how the role had been portrayed earlier and now. We all remember when we used to watch the movies. Ricci acted out Wednesday's role as an independent and brave character. Her Wednesday very much enjoyed her own company, but equally loved her family, especially her whole playful hate-love relationship with Pugsley, her brother. But this time around, Wednesday is far from home, starting her life at Nevermore all by herself. This was something quite new for all of us. We've seen Ricci being very fond of her part in the whole Addams family, goofing around with Pugsley. We know it was more torture than play. But hey, that is how siblings show their love and care, don't they? Back to the point though. As seen in the first few clips of the trailer, Ortega's Wednesday obviously shows her frustration with the family as soon as she is seen outside her new school. Her character appears to be quite the loner, who very easily makes peace with her loneliness. Sometimes it seems as if she's enjoying it. Up next, Ortega's Wednesday has a sense of humor. Probably one of the most obvious differences between the two performances would be Ortega's humorous touch to the character. Ricci was always known to perfectly deliver that dark, sarcastic, and deadbeat vibe to Wednesday, but Ortega brings out a new and different side to her as well. We know, we're surprised too. It's safe to say that Ortega has a different goal for the audience. She wants them to laugh. On the other hand, Ricci, well, she's never been the clown type. Both performances did have the same element of wit in them, which is a major part of Wednesday's personality. But Ortega definitely dives into the character's sense of humor more than Ricci ever did. Next up, Wednesday is now compassionate? No doubt there's a good amount of similarities between the two Wednesdays. Her opinions on the importance of love and friendships, her adoration for Thing, and her sidekick. All these traits show us that Wednesday is pretty much the same, but the differences are also quite visible. Ortega's Wednesday is now on this mission, solving a mystery, and she's writing a book. Her conversation with her roommate also showed us a different side of Wednesday. Ortega plays the role with a touch more compassion and care. Ortega's Wednesday seems to be more relatable, more human. Her eyes give away her true feelings and add depth to the character, and fans are more empathetic towards her, instead of their usual reactions of questioning her strange individuality. Speaking about being more funny, compassionate, and, well, human, did you know that Ortega's Wednesday has some serious moves in store for us? Imagine that. Keep watching to find out more. And now, who played a more mysterious Wednesday? A constant theme in Ricci's performance as Wednesday has been the mysteriousness to the character. Cue Lady Gaga singing can't read my, no he can't read my poker face. Well, that's exactly how we feel when watching Ricci play Wednesday. Wednesday probably has the best poker face, or as the kids call it nowadays, the RBF. Ricci's Wednesday has never let any emotion come over her face. You can just never know what she's thinking or what she's feeling. The only few things we know about her are that she's comfortable with her uniqueness and spends a good amount of time thinking about death and violence. But that's pretty much it. And while that's true, Ricci deserves credit for her strong acting. She does justice to Wednesday's gloomy and cold personality. And although we can all agree that Ortega's performance adds depth and layers to the character, one thing's for sure: Ricci played a more mysterious Wednesday. Let us know in the comments below if you disagree though. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And now, solemn and grim is a common theme, but one's grimmer than the other. Take a guess. Who's the grimmer Wednesday? Well, we can't talk enough about Ortega's addition of depth and intensity to the character. This new student at Nevermore shows us that Wednesday has a side to her that tends to feel things on a much deeper and more intense level. On the flip side, side, if we talk about Ricci's performance, she will always make us feel as if Wednesday is going through a terrible time in her life. Her expressions make you wonder, dear Lord, what horrendous thing must have happened to this young girl? You would hardly see Ricci playing Wednesday as anything but this grim, solemn girl, but Ortega's Wednesday is much less intense. Guess we have a winner on the grim and solemn front, don't we? Next up, which Wednesday is more expressive? You've probably started seeing a pattern to both Wednesdays by now, and the answer to this question must be quite obvious. A major difference between the performance of the two characters is Ortega's facial expression. You'd catch her serving us a smile every now and then, and that's super new for all the fans, because we've only seen Ricci keeping this straight, serious face at all times. Wednesday's notorious for just never smiling. On the other hand, Ortega's care and kindness for her friends comes up sometimes, and we see a new layer to this character. Hey, she's capable of normal human emotion too. We can see that in her interactions with her roommate or thing. While both performances maintain that hesitation from closely bonded relationships, the differences clearly exist too, and it's obvious who's the more expressive Wednesday. We know you must have been thinking, when are they going to talk about the dancing scene? Well, hold your horses. That's what we're getting to now. And now, which of the two Wednesdays is a better dancer? Bet you never thought we'd be asking this question, did you? Without a doubt, Wednesday's dancing scene in episode 4 left all of us in almost a state of confusion. But not too much, because while Ortega added that quirkiness and whim to the character in this scene, she did a good job not straying away from the character's personality. Ortega certainly proved her talent in the acting industry, especially excelling in horror, fantasy, and thrill areas. Once again, she showed us her acting abilities by showing Wednesday keeping that seriousness to her, but also having just a grain of fun, in comparison to Ricci's role, who hardly ever enjoys anything and keeps her tough exterior and God knows what interior. This was quite the change for fans. TLDR, Ortega's Wednesday is the better dancer. Coming up, who's more relatable? Hey, we're not sorry for asking the obvious questions. It's fun. There's no doubt that Ricci does a better job at keeping Wednesday the mysterious, misunderstood girl. None of us have ever really known what's going on in Wednesday's head, and we owe much gratitude to Ricci for that. Sure, it's easy to conclude that she's all about pranking others and loves the idea of death, but that's pretty much all we know. What are the two things you know about Wednesday Adam? Oh, she's creepy and grisly. What else? Crickets chirping. It honestly feels injustice to compare the two, because both of them do an excellent job playing the part. But we enjoy the individuality in both performances, and truly appreciate what both of them have to offer. The gist? Ortega's more relatable. And well, Ricci, mysteries are always fun. And now, which of the two Wednesdays gets more scared? If we were watching the Addams Family movies, and Wednesday was told she'd be coming face-to-face with the monster, she probably wouldn't have cared, and gone about her day bothering Pugsley. However, Ortega makes it obvious that she, on the other hand, is capable of feeling afraid. We can see it on her face, when she's about to become dead meat at the hands of a monster. Ricci made us think that absolutely nothing in the entire world could bring about the feeling of fear in her, while Ortega shows us that, just like the rest of us, she cares about her life, regardless of how tough she seems. It's actually us, the audience, who might be getting a little bit fearful. What else has our dear Wednesday in store for us? Empathy? Maybe that's a bit too much for now. And finally, who's the more Wednesday of the two Wednesdays? Okay, we might not have an entirely new Wednesday, but we certainly have a very distinct 21st century Wednesday. We're seeing new layers to Wednesday's character, which most of us were unaware of during Ricci's portrayal. Ricci hardly ever seemed bothered by anything or anyone. Whether it was her own parents, she would shrug it off and move ahead, ignoring what others said or did. This seems to be the right move, since the whole vibe of Wednesday is to appear unbothered. She continued doing her own thing, and never gave a flying you-know-what about anyone. Ortega, on the other hand, plays the role a bit more actively. We can see her reacting to her situations, and showing emotion when being told off. This is a new side to Wednesday, and it's made us realize that, just like all of us, she's a young girl with life goals and is keen on stopping the monster. We certainly can't put the performances on a hierarchy, but we can agree that there's this cool and interesting distinctiveness in both. Ortega and Ricci do great justice to Wednesday's role in their own ways, and we're here for it. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you again.